Hi and welcome to the podcast. My name is Kristen. You can find me on Instagram as Skein Yarn and on Ravelry as K10, that's K10. Hope you're all doing really well. It's very hot today. We are in autumn. We have finally reached autumn and I am dying for cooler weather. I just can't wait for it to arrive. It's been so hot. We've had a heat wave here in most of the eastern coast of Australia. And yeah, it's just horrendous. The humidity, it's just doing, it's not good. Anyway, I've had to close the window to record. So, and I've got the fan on and I'm in a knitted sweater. So hopefully I can get through this okay. If not, I'll have to stop and change. But yeah. I have a finished object. As you can see, I finished the Soldotna, which I've been talking about in the podcast. So this was knit using our boucle DK yarn called Curly. And as you know, if you've watched the previous podcasts, I wanted to try knitting a colourwork sweater with the DK boucle just to see how it would work. It was a bit of an experiment and I absolutely loved it. I wasn't sure whether the boucle, because it is quite curly, it has a lot of texture, whether it would knit up okay in colourwork. But yeah, it's knitted up beautifully and you can see the pattern. It hasn't interrupted the colourwork at all. And I'll get up a bit closer. You can see it's quite a lot of texture. It's just really lovely. It's boucle yarn can be a little bit difficult to find projects to work with it because it is such a textural yarn that it can overpower patterns. Well, it does overpower stitch patterns. So anything with cables, textured knits, that kind of thing, it doesn't work at all because you can't really see the texture. Stockinette stitch is a good one. Garter stitch is good too, and yeah, this is just another option, colourwork. And yeah, so knitting with the boucle, I didn't have any problems really. I had to the one thing that I was a little bit worried about, if I had to rip back, whether it would stick, because that is, the stitches stick together because they are quite curly and chunky and it is sometimes hard to pull out boucle. But I did actually have to rip back at the beginning of the sweater and it was fine. I had no problem. I just did it very carefully and slowly. Knitting colourwork with boucle, I wouldn't recommend it for someone who hasn't knit colourwork before. It does tend to, the stitches can catch, like, so when you're putting your needle in to work a stitch, it can actually catch the yarn underneath because it is so textured and curly that you can easily accidentally put your needle through the stitch. But once you get used to it, and I found as I worked through the pattern, I didn't really have a problem with it. It's sort of, I just, muscle memory sort of kicked in and I was able to knit it quite easily. So I didn't have any problems there. Yeah, I really enjoyed knitting it. I just had such a wonderful time that I ended up casting on another colourwork sweater, which I will show you later, in the Curly DK. Yeah, so I didn't mention that the Soldotna crop is actually designed by Caitlin Hunter. And this is the third one that I've knit. I've knit two in our cushy DK. I keep doing this because I like the feel of it. Two in our cushy DK and of course one in curly, and I'm sure I'm going to knit another one at some point. I will put in pictures of this as I'm talking to show you what it looks like on, because obviously I can't step back and show you because there's a bed just behind me. This is my spare room. Yeah, and I do want to mention too, I thought it might be fun to do a colourwork knit along. So I'm going to post this on Instagram as well, and by the time this video comes out I would have already have mentioned it there. But I'm actually knitting a lot of colourwork sweaters at the moment and I'm really into them, so it'd be nice if we did a colourwork knit along together. So I was thinking I didn't want to make it a skein knit along, so it can be, it's open to all yarn. and any colourwork pattern that you're either working on, it can be a whip, or that you'd like to cast on. So colourwork can be stranded like this, it can be stripes, can be mosaic knitting, can be slip stitches, anything that uses 2 or more colours. And I'd like to run it from, I'm going to open it on the 15th of March, which is this coming Friday, which should be when this video comes out. I'm actually recording this on Monday, so yeah. And then I'm going to run it for 8 weeks, I think is long enough, so to the 10th of May. And I'm going to run this over on Instagram and on Ravelry as well, on our group. So the Ravelry group is pretty much dead. There's nobody there. It's not really been active for ages. I don't even know if many people go to Ravelry anymore. I certainly do check the group every now and again, and I'm on Ravelry all the time looking for patterns. But yeah, I thought it would be good to run it there too, because on Instagram obviously you can't run a forum. So if you're interested in posting pictures and coming and having a chat over on Ravelry, that'd be fantastic. So I'll put up a thread there, but also I'm going to run it on Instagram. So I'm going to have hashtags. So the hashtag will be colourwork knit along, and that's colour as in the way we spell it here in Australia, and also people in the UK with a U, or American colour, doesn't matter, either one, Colourwork KAL, and I'll put the hashtags down here so you can see it. So yeah, there will be some prizes. I haven't exactly figured out what yet, but there's plenty of time to do that. But yeah, there's no pressure to finish. It's just knitting along together, looking at the patterns that we're knitting on, the yarns, that sort of thing. So if you're interested, use the hashtags so I can see what you're working on, and I can you'll be up for prizes if you hashtag, use the hashtags. And also if you'd like to come over on Ravelry and post there, that'd be great too. And obviously either if you post on Ravelry or Instagram, it doesn't matter, you'll be eligible for prizes. So yeah. I finished the Untangled Crop by Olga Putano, and I've been working on this for a while, but unfortunately there was a bit of a problem with it, which I'll go into as I talk about it. But here it is. So I used our DK yarn Cocoon, which is a mix of a really lovely blend of alpaca, merino and silk, and it's a single ply, and as you can see it's knitted up absolutely beautifully. I used the colours Big Teal, Just Peachy, Boticelli and Marigold. But what I did do was when I finished it, I tried it on, I was super happy with it, it fit beautifully, it was at the right length, and then I soaked it and put it in the spin cycle, and then took it out and realized that I'd felted it. The yarn felted in the spin cycle, and I'm so like, I just can't even believe I did that, because it's a single ply non-superwash yarn, so of course it's going to felt. I didn't rinse it in hot water or anything, it was just cold water, but it was the agitation of spinning the excess water out that felted it, and I could tell I did it as soon as I pulled it out, and I was really upset with myself. But the good news is that it still fits. It was oversized at one point, but now it's pretty much, I would say the ease might be like 1 inch positive ease, which is still pretty good. But the only issue is that it's shrunk lengthwise, so it's quite short on me. It was at hip length where I like it, but now it's more sort of waist length, which means that wearing it with jeans is going to be a problem. Although I can wear a tight like a tank top underneath and it'd be okay. I can easily wear this with dresses, and I actually have a few dresses that I can wear this with, so it's not a complete fail. I do have ends to weave in, and then I'll take some pictures. But yeah, oh, I can't even believe I did that. I was so upset. I'm just glad that I can wear it. But yeah, lesson learned. So last time I podcasted, I was talking about a new yarn base, which unfortunately I've decided not to carry in the shop, only because I realized the cost of the yarn was really expensive. And I just know at the moment, with the economic environment being as it is, people don't have a huge amount of money to spend on yarn, so it wasn't a good yarn base to bring in right now. So I've put that to the side, and I actually chose a new pattern. This pattern came out a while ago, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on the podcast. It's the Inge sweater by Lene, Holme, Samsøe, who is also known as LeKnit. And I'll put a picture up so you can see. It's a complete colourwork sweater, so body and sleeves. It's a raglan sleeve with a turtleneck with a little roll on the top, which I didn't end up doing. Yeah, and I really love the design of this. It's got kind of a 60s feel, which is I always quite like. So I decided that I would use our curly DK base yet again, because I loved knitting the Soldotna crop, so I wanted to try another colourwork sweater in this yarn. And this is what I've got done so far. So I've actually knit quite a lot. That's the beauty with DK weight sweaters, is that they knit up really quickly, even with colourwork. So I'm using olive, mustard and cottonseed, and the colourwork itself is very simple. There is a chart obviously, and the only thing is with the chart in the pattern, the repeat, normally when you use a chart, the repeat it's either highlighted or there's like a box around the pattern repeat, but this one didn't do it. I had a little bracket down the bottom just saying repeat. So I actually use my iPhone and my iPad for patterns, and I put them in my files so I can actually highlight things myself. So I've highlighted the little pattern repeat, because it's actually quite a long pattern, so I know exactly where the pattern repeat is. But in saying that, it's very simple. Like, it's the same pattern repeat over and over. And yeah, you can tell just by reading your knitting from the row below what colours you meant to knit. Yeah, really enjoying it. So I have almost finished the raglan increases. Oh no, I wouldn't say almost, I'm about halfway actually. And yeah, like I said, there was a little roll top. It's like a stockinette stitch. I'd say it's like 2 centimeters at the top, which is meant to roll down. I didn't do that because I quite like just the plain garter rib stitch at the top. But yeah, it's gonna look quite nice. I'm really happy with it. I don't know whether I'm going to do the sleeves in colourwork. I'm thinking I might do a similar thing to the Soldotna, is just finish the yoke part, and then when I come back to do the sleeves, I'll just pick up and do a simple rib. I don't think I'll do the sleeves. I'm not sure. I don't love knitting sleeves, colourwork sleeves in the round. I've done it before and I really didn't like it. And yeah, I don't know, because the climate here, I don't really need to have long sleeves, and I probably would get more wear out of it if it was something like this. but I'll think about it as I knit, and once I'm finished the body and I try it on, then I'll decide what I want to do. But yeah, really enjoying it. So on the weekend, I ended up going through my knitting basket, which was absolutely full of stuff. Every time I looked at it, it gave me anxiety because it was just so disorganized. I didn't know what was in there, and yeah, I don't think I had actually been through it for, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year. It's been a long time. And usually what happens when I finish projects, I kind of throw my needles in there and I think I'll put them away later. Any sort of projects I have, I put in here, and yeah, it's like a black hole. Things just get lost. So on the weekend I went through it all and organized it, and I was so happy. It didn't take very long at all. I don't know why I left it for so long. I found lots of needles, spare needles. So I've got 3 sets of needles. I've got Chiaogu. They're not all full sets, but I've got Chiaogu, Knit Pro and Addy, and I have some spare other needles as well. And casting on projects, I've been running out of my needles, so I knew that they were in this basket and I collected a whole heap of them, so that's great. All my sets are full again. But yeah, I found a few projects. One of them, surprisingly, was one whole sock and almost a completed second sock, which I'd completely forgotten about. I haven't been sock knitting much. I've been sort of invested in sweaters. So this is using one of our sock kits. I'm pretty sure this is one of our what do you call it, clubs. So yeah, that's almost done, and I'm really keen because I wanted to knit myself some socks for winter, so now I've got those. So that won't take long, maybe one night sitting there knitting. I've really only got the toe left. The only thing is I've lost the mini, so I've lost this contrast skein colour. So I'm just going to find something. I've got lots of leftover yarn which was in this basket, so I can pick something else to do the toe. What else? I had a vest in there that I was never going to wear. I just started the front of it. I can't even remember the pattern. I used a very bright pink yarn. I don't know why, because I would never wear bright pink vest. I definitely wear it in a Colourwork. So yeah, that got frogged. And oh, I did find this, and I need to look up the pattern because I can't remember what the pattern is. But again, I've almost finished this sweater. This is Pirate Pearls yarn actually, and it's a Polworth silk. It is stunning. I wish you could see the complexity of that color. It's beautiful. It's sort of got a purple hint to it, and it's pink and purple. It's gorgeous. So yes, I'm going to finish that. I have just one sleeve to go, and yeah, so I've got a very nice clean knitting basket, which is fantastic. I have also been working on the Daydreamer Sweater by Veera Valimaki, and I have knit the body, and all I have to do is the sleeves. Again, the pattern is a long sleeve, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do long sleeves. I might actually do them short or elbow length, I don't know. But one thing I realized, and I'm quite amazed that I've never done this before, but the needle that I used for the rib, I used for the whole body, and I was meant to change needles when I got to the yoke. That's better. But I forgot. So the whole way I've been knitting at a smaller gauge without realizing. Lucky this is a very oversized sweater, so it's not not too bad, it's still going to fit. But the rib, because when I was knitting the rib, I was thinking it's quite loose for a rib, and then I realized I was knitting on 2 smaller needles, but that's okay. It's still gorgeous, it's still going to be wearable, and yeah. I am joining in the Curious Handmade 24 Birds knit along. Last week or the week before we had kits for this knit along, and of course that's Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. I love her patterns, I've knit quite a few. She has gorgeous shawls, and I don't think I've ever done a mystery knit along with Helen, which is crazy. Or maybe I've done one. I think mainly because they've come at times that I've been too busy to knit them, but I'm really keen. This one is inspired by the arts and craft movement, and yeah, it's everyone has been doing kits. There's been lots of kits done for this. It's a 4 skein project, 4 different colors, although Helen has said that you can just use one color. But yes, it starts on the 21st of March, and I'll put a link below if you're interested in joining along. I can't wait, it should be a lot of fun. So that's coming up, and then the other thing that I'm planning on casting on is another pair of socks, because I've almost finished the ones that I found. So I have an opal sock yarn which I ordered ages ago, and this is for my partner Paul, and yeah, he actually chose this color. He loves hand knit socks, he wears them all the time. It's so interesting, even in summer he says they're the best things ever. They're fantastic. Yeah, so I'm really keen to cast this on. I love knitting with commercial yarn. I love hand dyed yarn too, but I do like the self-patterning sock yarn. I find them really interesting to knit, and yeah, it's very moorish. I usually finish them quite quickly. There's been quite a few patterns that have come out in the last few weeks since I spoke to you, and yes, I'm going to talk about them now for dream knitting. Mila Cardigan by Sari Nordlund is one that came out recently, just a couple of days ago. She released the cardigan and the sweater. The cardigan and sweater, both of them, have a cable pattern, and according to her little write-up, the cable pattern itself is very simple. So if you're a first-time knitter of cables, it's apparently easy to knit, which is right up my alley. I like the style of the cardigan. I like how it's cropped. Of course, you don't have to knit it crop length, you can knit it longer. But yeah, I'm really keen to cast this on, and I don't have a lot of cardigans in my wardrobe, and they're very good to have at this sort of time of year, so, and even through to winter. I also really like the button band of this cardigan. It's got like a hidden button band. It's double layered, so the back of it has the hole for the button, so when it's done up you can't even see that there's buttons. But in saying that, I actually don't think I would put buttons on it. I think I would just have an open cardigan. But yeah, that's one that I'm keen to cast on. The next cardigan pattern that cropped up is the Pauline cardigan by Johanna Gehrisch. I've got my notes down here, which is why I'm looking down. It is I believe it's a raglan top down, and it's, from what I could read in the pattern description on Ravelry, it's actually knit using 2 strands of a lace yarn held together and then a worsted yarn for the diagonal pattern, which is actually all that is garter stitch. So it's stockinette stitch and then the garter stitch stripe. I'm not quite sure how she's done the striping section of it. I haven't, the write-up doesn't kind of describe that. I think you actually have to buy the pattern to see that. But I really like it visually. It looks so nice with the diagonals in the front and on the back. The last pattern that I have on my dream knitting list is the Veera sweater by Pauline Souchet, and this, I saw someone who had actually knit this on Instagram and I really liked the look of it. It's a cropped, again, cropped boxy sweater, which is what I always tend to be drawn to. It's got a V-neck. I'm pretty sure it's a raglan construction. Did I say it's worsted? I'm not sure. It's knit out of worsted weight yarn, and it's striped, and I love stripes too, so it ticks all the boxes. It's very basic, boxy shaped sweater, which would just be so nice just to throw on when I'm wearing jeans or whatever. It's just a very basic and lovely sweater, so that one is on my list too. Thanks for watching, and if you're keen to join me knitting some colour work, I should say it doesn't have to be sweaters, it could be a hat. Any colour work project that you want to knit on is eligible, so that'd be fun if you want to come and join me either on Ravelry or on Instagram. All you got to do on Instagram is use the hashtag, and then I'll be checking that regularly. So yeah, I hope you're all doing really well, and I survived the podcast in my knitted sweater, so maybe it's actually getting colder. I don't think so, it's actually a really hot day today. So yeah, I'm really keen for this summer weather to go away and for autumn to begin, so I can wear all these lovely knit pieces of knitwear that I'm finishing. So yeah, until next time, keep well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.